Well, here we are down in the museum again today with another AFC Wimbledon hero of the past, Elliott Godfrey, guest of honour here today. This fantastic treasure trove we've got here, what the fans have achieved, the stadium, the team, the club. What have you made of it all?
I mean, it's a bit overwhelming, to be honest with you. There's so many artefacts, you know, the journey of the club from, which I've just been told they found a trophy from the late 1800s to, you know, present time. And for my era to be part of it and to be part of that journey, it's a great place to be, and just to take it in is, I could probably spend the whole day here and end up missing a match.
Absolutely. Of course, going back to the start with you, how much did you know of the story before you came to Wimbledon?
So the Wimbledon story for me was massive growing up in football. You know, I loved my football, and Vinnie Jones was actually quite close to my family. They're from the same area in Hertfordshire. So we used to get down to the games. At the time it was at Selhurst Park. He used to bring us down. Funny story was my mother actually cut his hair for the FA Cup.
Oh wow.
The FA Cup final haircut, the really rigid haircut. That was my mum's fault. So the journey I've always been part of. We used to come to Selhurst Park and watch the games. I remember Vinnie telling me once to get down the front, and when I have a throw in, I'll find you. And he threw me the ball so I'd be on Sky Sports.
Brilliant.
So the Wimbledon journey, and then to be part of it, obviously as a player, when I got the phone call from Terry Brown to come across from Hampton, which was, you know, quite a jump across, because, you know, they were rivals as such.
Yeah.
I think Hampton saw Wimbledon as rivals. So to jump ship and come across was quite an easy decision for me when the phone went. So yeah,
good stuff.
One I'm glad I made.
Absolutely. I mean, of course, people talk about the crazy game and so on, but what you guys had at the time as well to get us up those leagues,
yeah,
that was a special group of players as well. It
was. I mean, stories probably can't be repeated here, but yeah, there was some. We had a great club, a great squad. Not just the 11 that put out every week. We had a real belief in the squad, and whether you started, was on the bench, or was a non-player, it really was a togetherness in the group. And I think we all knew that we were, you know, part of history, because every year or every game that we played was a movement in the right direction for the club to get back where they deserve.
And you spoke about Terry Brown there. I mean, somebody who had a real non-league knowledge and brought in the players and assembled a proper squad, didn't he, to do the job?
Yeah, the way that Terry used to assemble his squads was, I mean, you could look at it and probably say it was quite cutthroat, because he would get a squad promoted, he'd strip it back, he'd keep 5 or 6 or maybe more, and then really get players from that league where the club was moving into, that had done well. And that's how we'd assemble his squads, and he'd done it year on year, and again, that was a pleasure to be part of it, and I was lucky enough to keep in his squad for 2.5 years. So yeah, I was lucky for that.
What did you make of the club at the time? What other memories do you have? Because we're starting out there at Meadow, we're filling the stadium, weren't we?
Again, my first game was a friendly against Sutton, away at Sutton, and it was packed. It was just full of Wimbledon supporters, and I was remember thinking, this is a pre-season friendly. I've never seen anything like this. And then my first league game was Newport away again. Special day. Me, Maney, and Alan Inns at the time, we moved across together, and I remember walking out, and the butterflies that were there. At an away game, you know, and we had loads of fans there, and it was a great win. But yeah, the Meadow again, that had a special feel to it. You see all the faces, your fans were there. It just was part of that togetherness that I say about the squad. But for us at the time, that whole 3,500, 4,000 people that used to fill that ground, that was the squad on the match day. They were part of the match day squads, and it really sort of drove us on, knowing that, you know, we had to get results.
And how does it feel coming here today, seeing those faces that helped achieve that with this club?
Again, it's like a home from home. I love coming back. I love doing stuff with the club. I think it's very special that they keep players involved, because it's very easy just to be sort of forgotten in the way that football is the turnaround so quick now. So it's nice to always be part of conversations, and if there's ever events, to do them are fantastic.
And that squad as well at the time, you've touched upon it. I mean, there were characters in it like John Mayne, and there was leaders of men like Jason Goodliff.
The dressing room was any dressing room's a tough place, but everyone in that dressing room, from like I say 1 to the 20th member, we all knew our place, and that happened quite quickly. And I think where change rooms sometimes and squads are lost is where you've got people that don't sometimes fit, but everyone knew exactly where they were meant to be. It was all aligned at the right time, and there was never really any fallings out. I used to tease Keds a bit when he first come along, and I remember me and him on a coach once having a few words because I was winding him up because I pushing the wrong buttons. But again, it was a great dressing room, full of men's men. It really was. We were. And we all knew what the goal was, and everyone was on board.
I remember speaking to Stephen Gregory a while back, and he didn't know this at the time. You might know about it, but would you have ever have thought that John Mayne would have gone on and done a London Marathon and completed it?
I mean, I've not seen the pictures or the video of him completing it, so I mean, amazing. I mean, John, anything that John wants to do, John can do. He's an absolute legend of the club, a legend of a person. I love the guy.
So I suppose the big moment for you was, of course, clinching that Conference South title, helping to do that. And of course, the game that helped get us to there was going back to your old club, Hampton and Richmond. A packed house that day. What do you remember of that?
Well, I remember that game, going back there, my first time going back there. And again, feeling super nervous. Because I had some great times there. I really did. That was my first non-league club after I left Watford. So I spent a good few years there and had some successful times. And to go there knowing that anything bar a loss really clinched us the title that day, on not on paper, but we knew we was there. I think it was like 30-0 or something we had to lose, and a huge shift. And I remember thinking, right, this is it. And I think I hit the bar when it was 0-0. Which would have been amazing. I probably should have scored, in all fairness, but the nerves probably got the better of me in that little moment. But after the game, just everything, the fans coming on the pit, it was just again super special day.
And you've spoken about the time, of course, and how Terry shaped a squad. When the time did come to move on, did you feel like you could have given more? Do you wanted to have stayed on a little bit longer with the Dons?
I think Terry had a conversation with me quite early after Christmas in that year in the conference, and it was very open, Terry, and I think that's why we got on, as friends and as management and player-manager relationship. And I knew probably in the February that I wasn't really going to be part of the plans going into the following season, because they were looking at going more full-time down that route. I couldn't really do the full-time at the age I was. I was probably 29 at the time, so I would have had to have sort of given up the shot that I had at the time, and it would never have worked for both parties. So I knew that, and Terry was open with me. So I knew then my last 4 months at the club, I could just go and enjoy every moment and take it for what it was, and really take it in and cherish every game, every minute that I played.
When they went on to achieve what they did, getting back into the Football League, what were your memories of that day? Were you immensely proud, yeah?
Oh, like tears. I remember I was travelling somewhere back and I was listening to it on the radio, and I remember just putting up at my mum's when the penalty shootout was happening. And yeah, it was tears of joy, to see what the club done on that day. And players that I played with were part of that squad, seeing the joy on their face, and everyone, when that camera panned to the crowd, see people that you've been part of that journey with, and for me again to be a small part of it, for the reason we're here today, is something that I'll forever hold on to. And I'll always tell the family and the kids about it till they're bored of it.
Good stuff. But of course, I mean, you know, you went on, you moved on, you played for other clubs, you played with Wimbledon teammates again as well.
Yeah.
What's life like for you now? What are you up to these days? Do you stay in touch with them?
So yeah, we do touch base. I've just done John's carpets down in his new house. Stephen Gregory lives literally just around the corner from me. Went on to play with a couple of the lads of that squad. I was just saying how small football is when you're in it. So yeah, I stopped playing when I was 35. Had some great times I went to Bournemouth and played with Luke, and then played under Luke. And then yeah, ended up sort of finishing my career with Wimbledon, which again was a great club to be part of, with history. I think I've been really fortunate with my football journey, that I can always look back and be like, you know what, I was lucky enough to be part of some big clubs with history, and yeah, I look back on it with fond memories. I really do.
So look, you brought the family down here today, as you say, you're a special guest here. Hopefully we're going to make a big fuss of you as well, deservedly so. But in terms of, you look at what these fans have achieved with the club, the stadium, putting this dream together that's a reality.
Yeah.
What's your final impression of it all?
Again, it's mind-blowing. You know, it really is. You look around, you look at how important it was for the club to be back here at its home, and for everyone behind the scenes, every fan, everyone that made it possible, every player that's ever represented it. You know, we're here because of the belief and the love for the club, and to be here is just amazing. I'm looking forward to the day. Hopefully 3 points, and yeah, a good day seeing some old faces.
Absolutely, Elliott. Really good to see you.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.